Hi everyone, this is Stephen Albert, and you're watching the Harvest to Table Videos channel. Today we're exploring the world of okra. The tender edible pods of this heat-loving annual will bring a taste of southern sunshine to your plate. Perfect for gumbo, jambalaya, grilling, stir-fries, or pickling. Plus, okra plants are beautiful, with hibiscus-like flowers that attract pollinators and add charm to any garden. Today we'll cover everything you need to know to grow okra. Let's get right to it. Introducing okra. Okra grows best where summers are very warm. It's grown for its silky green flavor. Its immature pods have long been used to add the thick, hearty texture to gumbo. Okra is primarily a tropical plant, but it can be grown wherever cucumbers or tomatoes thrive. It grows 4 to 7 feet tall and produces green and sometimes red seed pods. The pods are best harvested when just 3 to 5 inches long. Okra grows best south of USDA Zone 7. Northern gardeners can grow okra in warm, sunny microclimates. Okra needs daytime temperatures between 75 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and nighttime temperatures ideally greater than 60 degrees Fahrenheit. At planting time, the soil temperature should be at least 65 degrees. The optimum soil temperature for growing okra is 75 degrees or greater. From seed sowing to first pod harvest, okra needs about 65 days. If your growing season is shorter, start seeds indoors. Now let's consider okra varieties suited for home gardens. Consider your climate when selecting an okra variety to grow. Two top-performing green pod favorites for warm to hot summer regions are Blondie and Clemson Spineless. Both are known for reliable yields and excellent flavor. For cooler summer regions or shorter growing seasons, Cajun Delight is a great early producer. For quick harvests, try early maturing varieties like Annie Oakley, Jade, or Emerald. If you're looking to add visual interest to the garden, the varieties Burgundy and Red Velvet offer striking red pods and stems. Both can be appreciated for their tender texture and versatility in cooking. When to plant okra. Okra won't even think about growing until soil temperatures are warm and the air stays above 85 degrees Fahrenheit most days. It needs about 55 to 65 days of consistent warmth to fully leaf out, bloom, and produce tender pods. In my experience, trying to jump-start the season never pays off when growing okra. I always wait until at least 4 weeks after the last frost to sow okra seeds directly into the garden. I've seen yields drop fast when temperatures dip below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I never rush okra into the garden. Where to plant okra? Okra absolutely needs full sun to thrive. Anything less, and you'll end up with spindly plants and poor pod production. I've had the best success in loose, well-draining soil, enriched with aged compost, worked in early spring. Okra is a heat lover. It's very sensitive to cold and wind, especially in northern gardens. I make sure to plant okra in a very warm, sheltered spot that gets full sun all day long. How to plant okra. I soak okra seeds in warm water for a few hours before sowing. This softens their tough seed coats and speeds up sprouting. I plant the seeds about ½ an inch deep and space them 3 to 6 inches apart, knowing I'll thin them later. In short summer regions, you can start seeds indoors about 4 to 6 weeks before you plan to transplant them outside. Okra and Daylength. Some okra varieties are day length sensitive. The number of hours of sunlight during the day can affect how well okra flowers. Most okra cultivars tend to be short-day plants, meaning they begin to flower more readily when the days are shorter, typically about 11 hours. Southern gardens tend to have 11 hours of daylight each day, while northern gardens have more hours of daylight in the summer. Southern regions is where okra grows best. As daylight length increases greater than 11 hours, flowers may abort before setting pods. If you're unsure of the hours of daylight during summer where you live, I suggest you grow the variety Clemson Spineless. It is less influenced by day length than other varieties. It will still flower well, even with longer daylight hours. Okra's sensitivity to daylight is important to consider if you're planting okra in a region with long summer days. The practical dividing line is around USDA Zone 6-7, which includes cities like St. Louis or Washington, D.C. Time your planting to align flowering with shorter days. This will help maximize pod production. Now let's consider watering, feeding, and how to care for okra. Early on, keep the soil consistently moist for okra to get established and growing strong. Once okra is up and thriving, it actually prefers slightly drier conditions. Too much water, especially in cool weather, can lead to stem rot. When it comes to feeding, okra does best with balanced nutrition. I prep my beds with aged compost before planting. As the season gets underway, I side dress with more compost or a slow-release organic fertilizer. I've found that applying a complete fertilizer, such as 5-5-5, until the first pods form, is best. When pods begin to form and plants grow to about 4 feet tall, I switch to a high-potassium fertilizer. This really boosts pod production. I also place a sturdy stake next to each plant at planting time to support them as they grow tall and heavy with pods. Once my plants are about 9 inches tall, I pinch back the growing tips to encourage bushier growth and more branching, which leads to higher yields. Okra pests and diseases. Aphids, flea beetles, stink bugs, and corn earworms can attack okra. Aphids cluster on tender growth and flower buds, sucking sap and weakening plants. I knock them off with a firm blast of water or introduce ladybugs to keep them in check. Flea beetles chew tiny holes in leaves early in the season. I've had success using row covers when seedlings are young and vulnerable. Stink bugs and corn earworms can damage developing pods. Spraying with neem oil helps reduce soft-body pest insects such as aphids and whiteflies. Avoid spraying neem oil where bees and other pollinators land. Regular monitoring goes a long way toward keeping okra pest problems under control. Okra is generally a tough crop, but diseases can happen, especially when the weather turns wet or the plants are stressed. Problems such as fusarium wilt and root rot can be troublesome in poorly drained soil. To head off diseases, I always plant okra in raised or mounded beds, amended with plenty of aged compost. I also avoid overwatering. Harvesting okra. Harvesting at the right time is key to getting tender, flavorful pods. I start checking the plants daily about 60 days after sowing, once flowering begins. I harvest pods when they're 2 to 4 inches long. Longer pods can turn tough and woody almost overnight. The pods grow fast, so it's best to pick every day or two. I use a sharp garden knife or pruners to snip the pods cleanly at the stem. Regular harvesting encourages the plant to keep producing for weeks. Okra in the kitchen. Okra pods are best enjoyed right after harvest. They quickly become tough and woody if left on the plant too long. You can steam, sauté, fry, or stew okra. It's tasty in just about every way imaginable. It's a staple in classic southern dishes like gumbo and Creole jambalaya. I especially love it simmered with tomatoes or dipped in tempura batter and fried. For a lighter dish, blanch the pods and toss them with chopped vegetables and a tangy vinaigrette. Storing and preserving okra. Fresh okra pods will keep in the refrigerator for up to a week when stored in plastic bags. You can freeze okra. Just trim the stems and blanch the pods for 2 to 3 minutes, then cool them quickly in an ice bath and freeze them either whole or sliced. This way, you'll have your summer okra harvest on hand for tasty fall and winter meals. And there you have it, growing okra from seed to harvest to table. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Harvest to Table Videos channel. And don't forget to share this video with a gardening friend. If you'd like more tips, check out my vegetable gardening books available at Amazon. Click the link in the notes below. You can also find my complete okra growing guide at harvesttotable.com. See the link in the notes below. Thanks for watching today. Until next time, this is Stephen Albert wishing you happy gardening. See you in the next video.